Hey guys, doing the first trip of the year. June 25th is today. I head out tomorrow, the 26th, for the 26th, 27th, 28th. Leaving out of the Adirondack Lodge, doing 6 peaks is the idea. Don't know what's going to happen. I haven't done this type of hiking with the high peaks, with this elevation. Probably look around 32 miles in total. But I got my pack list ready to go. Right behind me, I'm going to go over that in kind of 3 different sections. I'm going to have my clothes I'm going to wear and pack. Going to go over sleeping arrangements, which I do sleep in a hammock, and you'll see that, you know, in the next video. We're also going to look at my insulation for sleeping, my cooking, and my pack. My pack, I use the ULA circuit. I've had it for about 3 years now, and it's incredible. So we're going to see where this has to pack up. But a couple different things about the Adirondacks, at least the east part of the Adirondacks, is one, I have to have a bear canister. So I have my first bear canister. It's the smallest one I could find. It's going to be 1 pound, 0.65. So for a bear canister, it is very small, it's very light, but it's all I need for 3 days out there. 3 days of food is plenty for what I need, and that's exactly what's suggested. It's called the Bear Boxer. I just picked that up. So we're going to go over everything I'm going to carry, get it in the pack. Hopefully my base weight I'm going to have for you at the bottom of this video at the end of it. Weights will be edited in afterwards. I'm not going to go over every weight as I go over. It's just too much to go over for this video. But this is what's in my pack, carrying for 3 days in June in the Northeast Adirondacks high peaks. Right now, weather's going to range anywhere from low 40s, 45 at night, up into 70s, possible 80s. There's chance of rain, there's chance of thunderstorm. We don't know. I'm excited to get down this adventure. Let's check out what we got in the pack. Guys, this is my pack. It's the ULA circuit in the camo, and that's what all this gear will be going into. Alright guys, first we're going to look at what I'm going to be actually wearing on my person as I head out. Like I said, the weather is going to be in the 40s to 70s, and I do like to hike in shorts. So my shoes I wear the La Sportiva Wildcat. I've been wearing them for a while. Trail runners in the Adirondacks, high peaks, you know, it's not the most typical thing, but it's definitely what I like, and they do dry out very quickly. And on top of those, I'm wearing the REI Trail Runner Gaiters. They're definitely not for waterproofing. It's more or less to keep the debris out of my socks. You know, like the twigs, the rocks, things like that just becomes a nuisance while you're moving down the trail. My shirt I'll be wearing is the Columbia long sleeve rollable shirts, but it's got the UV protection. I like it with the bugs too, and it's so breathable, so light. I prefer it over the long sleeve while hiking. Shorts are a pair of Under Armour gym shorts, very, very breathable all the way down the side and in the rear. Right on top is my knee brace. I do have a very weak right patella ligament, which holds my kneecap in place. So this really compensates for that my fault with my knee, and it's always, you know, been super strong on the trail. My socks, Darn Duff Shocks, low cut, and boxers wearing the Ex Officio, which are the 9-inch, and I always wear the Sunto watch, which has elevation, everything I really need out in the woods, barometer, but I really just like it to see my elevation gain more than anything. So that's what I'll be wearing on me. I don't really bring much packed clothes besides that. Here's what I'm packing with me. Foray jacket, outdoor research foray. Excited to use it. First time I'm actually going to be trail testing it with the pack, but the ventilation this thing has, I think, is going to come in very, you know, essential with the fluctuating temperatures. You know, that could be, you know, 30 to 35 degrees in fluctuating temperatures, plus what, you know, the peaks really are going to demand. Then I have for camp a spare pair of running shorts as well. Usually don't bring these, but I think with the mud and everything, it will be nice to get into a second set of shorts at camp. Camp shirt, just a very light EMS Techwick short sleeve shirt for camp. Change of boxers for camp, just to feel fresh for going to sleep. I have 2 pairs of socks. I generally only bring one, but with the latest rain in the forecast and the upcoming forecast, I think a second pair would be nice. These are actually Smart Wool socks. I've had them for, you know, 3 years now. They're a little bit more cushion than my Darn Tough, so I'm going to go with those. Then for sleeping and just staying warmer, my base layer is the Patagonia, what they used to call the Capilene 4, and I think they called the Expedition weight, and the top does have the hood, which is very nice, with the long zipper coming all the way down, you know, below the sternum for, you know, again, fluctuating temperatures. It comes in very handy. Camp shoes, I do like to always put in a pair of camp shoes just by lounging at night in the hammock. Just the cheap pair of Walmart sandals. They're coming around like 4 ounces, I believe. Again, all the weights are, I'm going to be, you know, editing, you know, post video to show everyone exactly what the weights are. And then down here in the bottom left, those are wristies. For what they weigh, they can really drastically get you a little bit warmer if necessary. And this is all being packed in the Sea to Summit 8-liter Ultra Sil dry sack. I do like the dry sack for clothes, even though everything also is going to be inside of a compactor bag inside the circuit. It just gives me a little extra sense of security. And for hiking poles, I'm going to have the Black Diamond Ergo cork with the flick lock, a little bit of duct tape on there as well. But that's what I'll be having in my pack for spare clothes. And it's more than I usually bring, but I think it's going to be plenty. Okay, this is my sleep system. I am a hammock camper. I used to use tent and then been using a hammock now for the past 2 to 3 years. I have 2 different hammocks, the Eno Double Nest and the Blackbird XL from War Bonnet. I am definitely using the Blackbird just because of the bugs. With the integrated bug net, it comes in at less weight. I actually find it a little bit more comfortable as well. And that's all the way in the back there. That's complete. That's going to be the hammock, the bug net, and I use the whoopee slings with a marlin hitch coming off the tree with Dutch clips. You'll see that set up in the woods, but that's going to be my preferred method of sleep. Below that here, this is the OES Mad Cat Deluxe Sil Nylon Tarp. It does have the seam coating on it for extra waterproofing, and the method I tie that up with is a continuous ridgeline with some Dutch wear gear pieces incorporated in that, which you're going to see, you know, set up in the full feature film that comes out after this. Sit pad, I think this thing is, again, priceless. The Z-Seat sit pad. I use this for sleeping underneath my feet because my quilt is only a 3/4, so that helps with keeping my feet a little bit warmer at night, and several times throughout the day. That stays on the exterior of my pack just for ease of use, sitting down to get a break. And that's all going to be secured over to the left with my 4 shepherd hook titanium stakes. Alright, next is my insulation. I do use quilts. The top there is my top quilt, which is the Hammock Gear Burrow 40. It's actually rated for 30 though. I got the 2 extra ounces of down in there. Definitely going to be plenty enough for this trip, but that gets me 3 seasons. It does not have this own foot box, so it's very easy to, you know, regulate airflow and you know, keep my temperature management under, you know, my own, you know, desire with not having the foot box sewn in there, which I definitely recommend, especially unless you're going full winter top quilt. I would always get the non-sewed foot box. And then for my bottom quilt is the Hammock Gear 20 bottom quilt. There's no extra stuffing in there. I think that is all that I need for my 3 seasons. I've even pushed this stuff, you know, all year long in the winter, you know, just dressing differently. But for this trip, that's going to be all I'm going to need for my insulation. And then pairing that with the Z-Seat. Again, if my feet get a little bit cold, slide that underneath my feet. Gives me a couple of degrees of instant warmth just like that. Okay, this is my food that I'm going to be carrying in my camp kitchen, everything like that. Like I did mention in the part of the high peaks that I am going in, it is 100% mandatory to have a bear canister that is certified. You cannot use an sack. Cannot just tie it up in the air. It must be a tested, certified bear canister that does lock. Pretty much everyone uses the black ones. There's a yellow one out there as well, but I found this one called the Bear Boxer. It's definitely on the smaller side to kind of give comparison next to just a Jetboil Micro-Mo. It's not that much larger in size, and that's exactly what I wanted. I was kind of disappointed when I found out that you need it. But I'm of course not going to mess with bears or, you know, DEC Adirondack Club. So that's what I have, full of 2 days plus a little extra just in case. Again, I'm not sure how tiring this will be. I know it's going to be extremely tough, but so I did pack a little extra food in there, but that's going to be two days of food in there, complete. Anything that does have an odor is also in there as well, cigar, some toiletries and things like that. For water filtration, I've been using the Sawyer squeeze, the regular, not the mini, and then I just did a setup with the gravity feed, which I've used before. It's just much more convenient for the additional weight, the convenience, and just being able to sit there and relax while it does it. It's priceless to me, so that 100% is worth the wait for me. Back up next to the food is my first day of food. Just to give you an idea, every day I do kind of organize it all out for all my meals and snacks, but that's the first day, which does not need to be in the bear canister because I'll be eating that throughout the day while on trail. For cooking, and I do really enjoy cooking, you know, in the backwoods. Lunches will be cooked as every dinner and some lunch has been. To do that, it will all be on the Jetboil Micromo, which I did a review on in the past if you want to look at a little bit more depth than that. But I love it. I've used 3 to 4 different stoves in the past, from Bush Buddies, which are not allowed in the high peaks because there's no fires allowed, so that was automatically out. And I just really like the convenience of it. Wind, nothing really stops the flame and the efficiency of the Jetboil Micromo. So that's definitely my first choice for food. So we'll be using that out there as well. This is the GSI mug. Definitely a luxury item, most people would say, but to me, having a coffee in the morning and starting off on the trail hiking with my coffee, it keeps it warm, handles, insulates well. Definitely worth it to me. And all the way over is my long titanium spoon with the smooth top, which Joe Brewer, another YouTube channel, definitely recommended, and I love it. Not having that grit, you know, on the spoon is worth it completely to me. So this is my kitchen setup with the bear canister, and hopefully that's going to fit nicely in the pack. We'll see at the end. Alright, next up are electronics. Definitely bring a little bit more, but I do like to document as much as I can throughout the trip. The camera I'm actually using now is also coming, which is a Canon G7X. That will be coming with 3 spare batteries. And then I have, for additional, I have my GoPro Hero 5 with 2 mounts, just the tripod mount and the head mount, and the GorillaPod hybrid. Definitely love this thing. It's a little bit heavier than the other ones, but you need it to, you know, support the Canon, which weighs a little bit more than the GoPro or a smaller point and shoot camera. And then for batteries, I already mentioned the extra batteries for my main camera, and then I'm gonna have a Zvance, which is a 10,000 milliamp power bank, and 2 GoPro extra batteries with an extra SD card, charging cables if necessary for the iPhone 6s as well as the GoPro, and then my headlamp is the Black Diamond Spot, which I hope on doing a sunset hike and maybe doing some night hiking, but you always need that regardless. This is my last little stuff to just get in the bag there. The top left is my red ditty bag that's going to have all my hygiene, trowel, everything I need to, you know, go do what I gotta do in the woods. And then to the right of that is the Benz 100% DEET. Lots of black flies in the Adirondacks. Hopefully that keeps them away for at least a little bit because they are relentless. The camp towel, you know, keep that on the exterior of my pack throughout the day. EMS candle to the right. I find this very nice, especially when I can't have a fire to set. This gives you, you know, a little ambiance, a little light in the background when I set up camp. And then my Sea Summit head net, again, to help with the bugs. Then the bottom here, I'm going to have my cigar. I like to have a cigar at the end of every evening. This is a Tyvek ground sheet that I like to put my camp gear on when I'm setting up camp, underneath my hammock, and also just a place to keep, you know, dry underneath the hammock so my gear does not get wet. Then I have my 2 maps. I am bringing the Adirondack Park National Geographic topographical map, as well as the printout. I usually just bring a printout, but with this being my first, you know, big trip to the high peaks, I wanted to have the full map with me as well. And of course the compass is also in my red ditty bag to have that throughout the day. But this is the conclusion of my gear, and I'm gonna get this stuff loaded up. So pack's fully loaded, and 22 pounds, everything in there. What are you doing?
Showing the whole bag.
Oh, sorry. Got the white film in this last section of the video here. Everything on but water. I'm just going to do 2 smart water bottles I'm going to put on my chest here. And then everything else will be in there, 22 pounds. very happy with that, and we'll see what the base weight is at the end of this video. Now watch the movie afterwards.